On this day in history, September 23rd, 1122, Pope Callixtus II and Holy Roman Emperor Henry V agreed to the Concordat of Worms to put an end to the Investiture Controversy. Included in the following is an excerpt from the 1944 edition of the Encyclopaedia Britannica, going over the history of the city. Worms was known in Roman times as Borbeto Magus, which in the Merovingian age became Wormatia. The town had, before Caesar's time, become the capital of a German tribe, the Vangiones. Drusus is said to have erected a fort here in 14 BC. In 413, the Emperor Jovinus permitted the Burgundians under the king Gunther, or Gunther, to settle on the left bank of the Rhine between the Lauter and the Nay. Here they founded a kingdom with Worms as its capital. Adopting Arianism, they came into conflict with the Romans, and under their king Gundhar, or Gundekar, the Gunther of the Nibelungenlied, rose in 435 against the Roman governor Aetius, who called in the Huns against them. The destruction of Worms and the Burgundian kingdom by the Huns in 436 is the subject of heroic legends afterwards incorporated in the Nibelungenlied, and the Rosengarten, an epic probably of the late 13th century. Worms was rebuilt by the Merovingians and became an episcopal see, first mentioned in 614, although a bishop of the Vangiones had attended a council at Cologne as early as 347. There was a royal palace from the 8th century, and in it the Frankish kings, including Charlemagne, occasionally resided. Under the German kings, the power of the bishops of Worms gradually increased. Otto I granted extensive lands to the bishop, and in 979 Bishop Hildebold acquired committal rights in his city. Burchard I, bishop, 1000-25, destroyed the castle of the Franconian house at Worms, built the cathedral, and laid the foundations of the subsequent territorial power of the see. There were frequent struggles between the bishops and the citizens who espoused the cause of the emperors against the church, and were rewarded by privileges which fostered trade. The city retained its freedom until 1801 in spite of the bishops who ruled a small territory south of the city on both sides of the Rhine, and resided at Ladenburg near Mannheim till 1622. The city of Worms was frequently visited by the imperial court. The Concordat of Worms closed the Investiture Controversy in 1122. The perpetual peace, Ewiger Landfried, was proclaimed by the Emperor Maximilian I at the Diet of 1495, and Luther appeared before the famous Diet of 1521 to defend his doctrines in the presence of Charles V. 4 years later, Worms formally embraced Protestantism, and religious conferences were held there in 1540 and 1557. It suffered severely during the 30 Years' War. The French under Meilhac burned the city almost entirely in 1689, and it only fully recovered from this blow in recent years. Thus, the population, which in its prosperous days is said to have exceeded 50,000, had sunk in 1815 to 6,250. By the Treaty of Worms in 1743, an offensive alliance was formed between Great Britain, Austria, and Sardinia. The city was annexed to France at the Peace of Lunéville in 1801, together with the bishop's territories on the left bank of the Rhine. The remaining episcopal dominions were secularized in 1803 and given to Hesse-Darmstadt, which acquired the whole by the Vienna Congress in 1815.